Have you ever felt that sinking feeling when someone you care about starts to drift away? It's like a wall begins to form, and suddenly there's an urgent need to close the distance. You might find yourself texting more, calling often, or trying to fix things to bring them closer again. But here's the surprising truth. The harder you try to close the gap, the wider it often becomes. Because when you lean in too much, you unintentionally send a message that you're prioritizing their approval over your own self-worth. That kind of energy can feel overwhelming to the other person, even if you don't mean it to. In this video, we'll explore why this happens on a deeper emotional level. More importantly, I'll give you actionable steps to shift the dynamic in a healthy way. Steps that allow you to stay true to yourself while creating the space for a strong and magnetic connection. 1. The energy you give off. Let's talk about energy. You've probably heard people say, others can feel your vibe. Well, it's not just a saying, it's true. When you're constantly thinking about someone, especially if you're feeling anxious or worried, you're unintentionally projecting that energy outward. Even if you're not physically near them, they can sense it. Think about how it feels when someone hovers too close to you. It can feel suffocating, right? That's exactly how your emotional energy can feel to someone else when you're overly focused on them. This isn't just about seeming needy, it's about an imbalance. When someone pulls away, it's often because they feel overwhelmed or stifled. The more you chase, the more they instinctively retreat. The solution? Break the cycle by becoming aware of what's happening. The moment you notice yourself spiraling into anxious energy, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I focusing on them because I'm afraid of losing them? Am I neglecting my own needs right now? That moment of self-awareness is the first step toward regaining your balance. 2. Why giving space works. Imagine someone standing too close to you, right in your personal space. How does that feel? Most of us instinctively want to step back. But if they step back first, you're likely to feel more comfortable, even curious about closing the distance. This is the paradox of space in relationships. When someone pulls away, it often means they're signaling a need for emotional space. It's not necessarily that they don't care. It's more about needing room to process their own feelings. When you respect that space, something incredible happens. You're showing them that you value their boundaries and are confident enough to let the relationship unfold naturally. That confidence is deeply attractive. On the other hand, chasing or trying to fix things can feel like emotional pressure, which only pushes them further away. Remember, giving space isn't about playing hard to get. It's about creating a healthy environment where both people feel safe and valued. 3. Focus on yourself. When someone starts pulling away, it's easy to spiral into overthinking. What did I do wrong? How can I fix this? But that mindset is a trap. It keeps your energy tied to them and prevents you from focusing on yourself. So, what does it look like to channel that energy back into yourself? It's about reconnecting with the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Your hobbies, your goals, your friends. It's about rediscovering the parts of you that light up your life, completely independent of anyone else's attention or approval. Here's the beautiful part. When you're fully in your own energy, you become magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence, self-worth, and genuine happiness. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about truly embracing a life that feels rich and meaningful, whether or not the person you care about is part of it. 4. Breaking the cycle. If you find yourself repeatedly chasing people who pull away, it's worth taking a closer look at why this dynamic feels familiar. For many of us, it can trace back to early experiences in childhood. Maybe you had a parent or caregiver who wasn't emotionally available. As a child, you might have learned to associate love with effort, believing that if you just tried hard enough, you could earn their attention and approval. But here's the truth. Their emotional unavailability wasn't your fault. It wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a result of their own struggles. As an adult, you don't have to keep replaying that story. You don't have to fight for love or prove your value to anyone. You are already enough, just as you are. 5. Letting go, the ultimate power move. So what do you do when someone pulls away? You let go. Not in a passive-aggressive way, and not as a manipulation tactic, but as a genuine act of respect for their space and for your own self-worth. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you trust that what's meant for you will find its way back to you, and if it doesn't, then it wasn't right for you in the first place. This is one of the hardest but most empowering moves you can make. When you let go, you're sending a message that says, I value myself too much to beg for anyone's attention. And guess what? That kind of energy is magnetic. People are drawn to those who know their worth and aren't afraid to walk away from what doesn't align with it. 6. You are enough. Here's the most important thing to remember. Your worth is not determined by whether someone stays in your life or chooses to leave. Your value isn't tied to their actions. It's something that comes from within you, constant and unshaken. When someone pulls away, use that moment as an opportunity to focus on yourself. What makes you happy? What inspires you? This isn't just about building better relationships. It's about becoming a stronger, more confident version of yourself. The truth is, when you see your own worth, others will see it too. The right people will be drawn to you effortlessly, without the need for chasing or proving yourself. Final thoughts? Have you ever experienced someone pulling away? How did you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're ready to dive deeper into building self-worth and creating healthier relationship dynamics, be sure to check out my other videos. Remember this, you are worthy of a love that chooses you. Start by choosing yourself.